Internet and the World Wide Web. Introduction to Internet. It is the largest network in the world that connects hundreds of thousands of individual networks all over the world. The popular term for the Internet is the information highway. Rather than moving through geographical space, it moves your ideas and information through cyberspace, the space of electronic movement of ideas and information. The Internet is a network of computers linking many different types of computers all over the world. History of Internet development. 30-year history since 1969. Pentagon and Cold War. Original use: military installations, universities, business firms with Defense Department contracts. Initial goal: design a network that maintains the safe transition of data between military computers. Exponential growth in network bandwidth. Year: bandwidth 1969, bandwidth 9.6 kilobits per second 1985, bandwidth 54 kilobits per second. 1987, bandwidth 1.544 megabits per second T1 speed 1989, bandwidth 45 megabits per second T3 speed 1995, bandwidth 155 megabits per second 1997, bandwidth 622 megabits per second 1998, bandwidth 1024 megabits per second 2000, bandwidth 2048 megabits per second. Growth rate: 210,000 times. Internet applications, online communication software, sharing, exchange of views on topics of common interest, posting of information of general interest, production, promotion, feedback about product, customer support service, online journals and magazines. Internet characteristics: global nature, widely used, international in scope, dynamic accessibility, anonymity, expanding exponentially. Internet services allows us to access huge amount of information such as text, graphics, sound and software over the Internet. Following diagram shows the 4 different categories of Internet services. Element of Internet. A simplified hierarchical model of the Internet include client PCs, server computers and network clients, server and networks clients PCs. These are the computers that request information from servers. Server computer. A server is a computer that holds the files for one or more websites. Element of Internet networks. Theses are composed with one or more server computer and multiple client servers. Nodes. A generic term used to describe a client, server or network. Uniform resource locators. The address of a World Wide Web page is a reference to a web resource that specifies its location on a computer network and a mechanism for retrieving it. A URL, as the name suggests, provides a way to locate a resource on the web, the hypertext system that operates over the Internet. A URL is the most common type of uniform resource identifier, URI. URIs are strings of characters used to identify a resource over a network. Internet protocol. The Internet protocol, IP, is the method or protocol by which data is sent from one computer to another on the Internet. Each computer, known as a host on the Internet, has at least one IP address that uniquely identifies it from all other computers on the Internet. World Wide Web, commonly known as the web, is an information system where documents and other web resources are identified by uniform resource locators, URLs, such as web links, which may be interlinked by hypertext and are accessible over the Internet. Hypertext. Hypertext is text which is not constrained to be linear. Is text displayed on a computer display or other electronic devices with references, hyperlinks, to other text that the reader can immediately access. Hyperlinks. A hyperlink, or simply a link, is a reference to data that the user can follow by clicking or tapping. A hyperlink points to a whole document or to a specific element within a document. Web browser is a software program that allows a user to locate, access, and display web pages. A browser is a software application used to locate, retrieve and display content on the World Wide Web, including web pages, images, video and other files. Example: Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Apple Safari, Microsoft Edge. As a client-server model, the browser is the client run on a computer or mobile device that contacts the web server and requests information. The web server sends the information back to the browser, which displays the results on the Internet-enabled device that supports a browser. Website: a location connected to the Internet that maintains one or more pages on the World Wide Web. Is a collection of web pages and related content that is identified by a common domain name and published on at least one web server. Are typically dedicated to a particular topic or purpose, such as news, education, commerce, entertainment, or social networking. Netiquette is short for Internet etiquette. Is a code of polite behavior in society. Netiquette is a code of good behavior on the Internet. This includes several aspects of the Internet, such as email, social media, online chat, web forums, website comments, multiplayer gaming, and other types of online communication. Commerce of the Internet. E-commerce. Electronic commerce is the buying and selling of goods and services, or the transmitting of funds or data, over an electronic network, primarily the Internet. These business transactions occur either as business to consumer, and digital middleman governance on the Internet. Meetings reports online registrations. Impact of Internet on society. Working from home. Freedom of speech. Crime on through the Internet. Cybercrime. Criminal activities carried out by means of computers or the Internet. Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime. Hacking, phishing, spamming, or is used as a tool to commit an offense. Reasons for cybercrime. Easy to access. The problem behind safeguarding a computer system from unauthorized access is that there are many possibilities of breach due to the complex technology. Hackers can steal access codes, retina images, advanced voice recorders, etc. that can fool biometric systems easily, and bypass firewalls can be utilized to get past many security systems. Capacity to store data in comparatively small space. The computer has the unique characteristic of storing data in a very small space. This makes it a lot easier for the people to steal data from any other storage and use it for own profit. The impact of it on privacy. Learning topics. Developments in information technology. Internet, social media, big data, mobile devices, the Internet of Things, e-government, surveillance. The impact of information technology on privacy. The debates about privacy are almost always revolving around new technology, ranging from genetics and the extensive study of biomarkers, brain imaging, drones, wearable sensors and sensor networks, social media, smartphones, closed-circuit television, to government cybersecurity programs, direct marketing, surveillance, RFID tags, big data, head-mounted displays and search engines. Developments in information technology. Information technology refers to automated systems for storing, processing, and distributing information. Typically, this involves the use of computers and communication networks. The amount of information that can be stored or processed in an information system depends on the technology used. The capacity of the technology has increased rapidly over the past decades, in accordance with Moore's law. This holds for storage capacity, processing capacity, and communication bandwidth. We are now capable of storing and processing data on the exabyte level. For example, your enemies may have less difficulty finding out where you are, users may be tempted to give up privacy for perceived benefits in online environments, and employers may use online information to avoid hiring certain groups of people. Internet. The World Wide Web of today was not foreseen, and neither was the possibility of misuse of the Internet. Social network sites emerged for use within a community of people who knew each other in real life. At first, mostly in academic settings, rather than being developed for a worldwide community of users. Cookies are small pieces of data that websites store on the user's computer, in order to enable personalization of the site. Social media pose additional challenges. The question is not merely about the moral reasons for limiting access to information, it is also about the moral reasons for limiting the invitations to users to submit all kinds of personal information. Social network sites invite the user to generate more data, to increase the value of the site. Your profile is %complete. Users are tempted to exchange their personal data for the benefits of using services, and provide both this data and their attention as payment for the services. Big data. Users generate loads of data when online. This is not only data explicitly entered by the user, but also numerous statistics on user behavior, sites visited, links clicked, search terms entered, etc. Data mining can be employed to extract patterns from such data, which can then be used to make decisions about the user. These may only affect the online experience, but, depending on which parties have access to the information, they may also impact the user in completely different contexts. Mobile devices. As users increasingly own network devices such as smartphones, mobile devices collect and send more and more data. These devices typically contain a range of data-generating sensors, including GPS location movement sensors, and cameras, and may transmit the resulting data via the Internet or other networks. One particular example concerns location data. Many mobile devices have a GPS sensor that registers the user's location, but even without a GPS sensor, approximate locations can be derived, for example by monitoring the available wireless networks. The Internet of Things. Devices connected to the Internet are not limited to user-owned computing devices like smartphones. Many devices contain chips and/or are connected in the so-called Internet of Things. RFID radio frequency identification chips can be read from a limited distance, such that you can hold them in front of a reader rather than inserting them. RFID chips with protected biometric data, but information like the user's nationality may easily leak when attempting to read such devices. Smart RFIDs are also embedded in public transport payment systems. Dumb RFIDs, basically only containing a number, appear in many kinds of products as a replacement of the barcode and for use in logistics. E-government more generally, privacy is important in democracy to prevent undue influence. Online political activities of citizens on, for example, social media facilitate such attempts because of the possibility of targeting through behavioral profiling. Compared to offline political activities, it is more difficult to hide preferences and activities, breaches of confidentiality are more likely, and attempts to influence opinions become more scalable. Surveillance information technology is used for all kinds of surveillance tasks. It can be used to augment and extend traditional surveillance systems such as CCTV and other camera systems, for example to identify specific individuals in crowds, using face recognition techniques, or to monitor specific places for unwanted behavior. Such approaches become even more powerful when combined with other techniques, such as monitoring of Internet of Things devices.